Well, today was going to be a 20% chance of rain, which has turned into a 100% chance of rain here. And unfortunately, the ground here is just, this clay just gets so wet, it's really become unworkable. However, looks like we're going to get to see how our erosion control does because it's starting to rain. So we'll get some real-time proof probably on how this grading is going. I had stopped filming just because it was getting repetitive. As you can see down there, this area right here, I'm getting some waves. So I've got to work on smoothing this more. It's all angled towards that edge for draining, but I got to work on my waves. I'm just still not very good at getting it smooth. So let's see how smooth it looks as the rain comes down. I just try and rush things too much, and here I'm just not noticing. I don't want to be digging out of the center of the road. I want to be taking off some more from the right-hand side of the road as I'm going down the hill. So I'm actually making the situation worse. I realize it here, tilt my bucket a little bit, and now I've got to undo the damage I did, and again, try and keep it draining off to the right-hand side. And this is downhill, so very rapidly, you can start to accelerate more than you realize, and you end up digging up more of the road than you wanted to because the downhill momentum just keeps the skid steer moving forward a little too aggressively. And as I get turned around here, and you can tell because the headlights are starting to show up shining on the bucket, it's actually getting kind of dark and the rain is coming down much harder. So I'm really deciding here, you know what, I'm going to need to sit here for a second. It'll give me an opportunity to see how the water is flowing down the road from up the hill there and see, is my grading working? Do I have some spots where the water's pooling? Let's see what it looks like. I can actually see the water here starting to collect up top and pooling and coming down. In general, staying to the left-hand side because I'm now facing up the hill. So in general, the grading is working the way it needs to. So I decided to put on some time lapse and get a better idea of how well is it going. And as you can see, nope, still got some water that's landing on the right-hand side of the road. So we'll need to work on that and make sure that all the water continues to go to the left-hand side. So I've got the water generally getting off the road here by the time it flowed down to here, but it really should have been getting into the gully farther up. So I still need to do some more grading and leaning it over to the left. So I've decided I'm going to head up the hill and see if I can do some improved grading. Maybe it's not too wet, so maybe I can grade this a little bit and attack it from the top coming down the hill and improve this so that more of this water is going directly into the gully rather than flowing down the road and then cutting over into the gully 50 and 75 feet later. And here we're approaching where I made that mistake right about the center of the screen. You can see it slopes into the center of the road. That's where I made that mistake by not paying attention and had the tilt going the wrong way, and I paid for it there. So that's definitely a problem. It's going to take some work to get that fixed. So if you see those veins of water there on the right hand side, if I had graded this better, that should be continually going off into the gully on the right hand side, but instead it's staying on the edge of the road. Now the road is primarily the middle, but this really should have been flowing off into the gully from the very beginning. So definitely needs a lot more work. At this point, I'm not doing any grading going up the hill. It's just too slippery. If I put the bucket down and just even try and take a thin slice, the treads start digging in and making big ruts. So I'm only grading going down the hill. I'm looking at this and this is not looking good. I'm really starting to second guess that trying to get any further work done here is a good idea, but I keep going. I really probably should have stopped once it started raining. I probably didn't completely ruin this, but it certainly didn't get improved much by the work I did after it started raining. This divot right here, that was probably my biggest mistake of the day. Pushing into that, not paying attention, digging so much out of the center. Really, you gotta have patience and just take a little bit of material each time. Much better to take 5 passes than try and do it all in one pass. And that's just a problem I keep causing for myself. Really, completely my fault. I need to have more patience. I don't know why the camera's shaking so much more than before. I don't know if maybe there's a lot of dirt getting caught up in the drive gears and between the gears and the tread, so it's shaking the skid steer more. It was smoother before, so I did use video stabilization here, but it didn't make much of a difference. Well, I think I improved it some. It's gonna hopefully, you know, if it rains some more this evening, hopefully it will roll to the right into the gully a little bit better. I'm trying to clean up this center hole that I created, just kind of smoothing this out, reducing the angle a bit, and hopefully, you know, it won't get too bad if we have some big downpours during the evening and making the erosion on this road worse rather than better. But in general, just from watching the rain come down previously, I think I'm in decent shape, and certainly I realize I need to pay a lot closer attention to making sure that it always drains off into the gully immediately versus come downhill for a little ways and then cut into the gully. And at this point, I realize I need to give up. It is getting too wet. I'm only going to make it worse. I'm going to make bigger problems for myself. So it's probably time to call it a day. It did give me an opportunity to see how the culvert is working. So how about we get out and step out into the rain. We'll take a quick look at what it looks like on the other side. It had stopped raining, but it's just starting up again. Well, we've got our settling pond here, so as it washes in sand and clay, it'll get a chance to settle out. It looks like our culvert's up to about 1/3 of the height. And let's just see what we got for flow out the other side. And at the moment, not much. We're flowing nothing. So I think maybe we'll give it a little chance, see how much it rains. Clearly some water came running through here, but at the moment, nothing's flowing.